Have you ever felt stuck in a cycle where nothing seems to change? No matter how hard you try, life can feel like a constant battle against frustrations, doubts, and external pressures that drain our energy. But what if I told you there's an ancient, time-tested path capable of transforming not only your mind, but your entire way of life? These 10 Stoic principles, inspired by Marcus Aurelius, aren't just philosophy. They're practical tools for taking control, cultivating resilience, and finding deeper purpose. Imagine waking up every day with the certainty that, even in the face of chaos, you maintain the serenity and strength to act wisely. This isn't a fairy tale promise, but a real invitation to experience profound and lasting change. Let's dive together into these lessons that have transformed kings, warriors, and philosophers, and that can transform you too. Are you ready to never be the same again? Find your purpose. It all starts here. Without a purpose, life becomes a succession of empty tasks and random decisions. You wake up, fulfill your obligations, and go to sleep, but deep down you feel like something is missing. Discovering your why is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, everything makes sense. It doesn't have to be something grand. Sometimes, your purpose can be as simple as living with dignity, helping your family, or growing a little every day. A self-discipline arises when there's a true reason behind your actions. It's much easier to say no to what takes you away and yes to what brings you closer to your goals when you know exactly where you want to go. A good exercise is to write, "What would make me proud of myself 10 years from now?" It might feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. Great answers almost always come after good questions. Having clarity of purpose gives you control emotional. You stop reacting to what happens and start acting with intention. Life remains unpredictable, but you don't. You become that rare person who knows what they want, sticks with it even on difficult days, and inspires others just by existing. That's when the true independence, when your choices are guided by your purpose, not by pressure, fear, or lack. Cultivate self-confidence and self-reliance. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. Self-confidence is not born from the applause of others, but from your ability to deliver on your promises to yourself. Start small. Say you'll wake up early and wake up. Promise to study for 30 minutes and do it. Each small victory builds a brick of confidence. Gradually, you stop relying on external validation and start walking with self-sufficiency even on unstable terrain. Stoicism teaches that what is under your control is the only thing that matters. So focus on that. The way you react, the effort you put into tasks, the decisions you make when no one is looking, all of it shapes who you are. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop blaming the world and start shaping your character with it. Virtue solid. Courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance. Nothing more liberating. Being self-sufficient doesn't mean being lonely. It means you're able to sustain yourself internally without collapsing at the first criticism or obstacle. You become resilient, not out of pride, but out of necessity. A practical exercise? Start solving small problems on your own before asking for help. Read books like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius or Life Manual by Epictetus. And notice how, over time, you stop asking yourself, "Can I do it?" and start saying, "I'll find a way." Show yourself every day. There is no magic. What really transforms is the consistency. That small habit, repeated day after day, is worth more than a burst of motivation that only lasts until Sunday night. Showing up every day isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's getting up even when your body needs bed. It's writing, studying, working out, or meditating, even if for 10 minutes, just to keep your commitment alive. It is in this daily practice that self-discipline strengthens. When you put yourself into action, even without wanting to, you send yourself a message, "I am trustworthy." This nourishes you from the inside out. Don't wait for ideal conditions. Spoiler, they rarely come. Start as you can with what you have. Ever heard that done is better than perfect? Well, it is. This is how you build confidence and form a character that doesn't depend on applause. This process also requires resilience. There will be days when nothing flows, when everything seems pointless. But you show up anyway because you understand that discomfort is part of the journey. And Deep down, there's something comforting about that, knowing that the simple act of showing up is already a victory. If you have to choose between doing a lot once in a while or doing a little every day, choose the latter. That's where the magic happens. Practice voluntary discomfort. There's nothing like purposefully challenging yourself to strengthen your mind and spirit. Voluntary discomfort is that conscious decision to step outside your comfort zone, facing small sacrifices that make us more resilient. It could be a cold shower, a day without social media, or waking up earlier. The idea is simple. Prepare the ground for when life truly throws its challenges at you, and you're ready to face them without freaking out. This exercise creates resilience, a virtue few cultivate, but which is essential to weather any storm. Furthermore, experiencing discomfort in a controlled manner increases our gratitude for moments of tranquility. It's like someone who goes hungry and then savors the food with much greater pleasure. The secret is to understand that temporary discomfort is an investment, not a punishment. And the best part? You win control about your reactions and emotions. When you decide to expose yourself to small challenges, you develop a kind of internal muscle that helps you deal with the unexpected. Regularly practicing this voluntary discomfort creates an invisible armor that protects against external chaos. It's worth starting slowly and consciously, always reflecting on the gains rather than the suffering. Focus on what is under your control. You know that anxiety that arises when you try to control something that's clearly beyond your control? Well, that's wasted energy. The secret of Stoic philosophy is simple yet powerful. Direct your efforts only toward what depends solely on you. Whether it's your thoughts, your actions, or your choices, everything else is beyond your control, and therefore it's not worth exhausting your mind with it. Practicing this focus brings a peace that many people spend their lives seeking through medication or distractions. It's the famous letting go of what I can't hold. For example, you can't control traffic, the opinions of others, or the weather, but you can control how you react to them. By adopting this attitude, consistency in your behavior increases and stress decreases, leaving room for clarity and effective action. Little by little, this look makes you develop a true independence emotional. You stop being a hostage to circumstances and become the protagonist of your own story. Of course, it's not always easy to remember this, but constantly practicing this distinction between control and lack of it is one of the greatest secrets to living a balanced life. How about trying to identify a situation now where you're wasting energy on something beyond your control? Refuse the role of victim. No one said life would be a bed of roses, but accepting the role of victim is giving up your power. True strength lies in deciding how you will react to adversity, rather than letting it define you. This doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but facing them head-on, with courage and responsibility, taking control of your own story. When you reject this role, you create space to grow and transform. You know that old saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger?" It's an invitation to resilience. Instead of complaining or clinging to suffering, you begin to seek solutions, learn from challenges, and cultivate virtues that truly matter. This attitude brings emotional freedom, because no one can steal your peace unless you allow it. A simple exercise to start with is to pay attention to your thoughts when something bad happens. Do you tend to blame yourself, blame others, or take control of the situation? Reflecting on this is an important step toward winning. Control and strengthen your self-sufficiency. Little by little, it will become natural to react with serenity, even when faced with life's hardships. Practice delayed gratification. You know that urge to eat something sweet in the middle of a diet or spend everything you earn on impulse. Practicing delayed gratification is exactly the opposite. It's the conscious exercise of saying no to immediate pleasure in the name of a greater goal. This skill strengthens your control and helps you stay focused on what really matters, that reward that's truly worth it. This concept is nothing new. Stoic philosophy has always emphasized the importance of patience and constant effort. By resisting momentary temptation, you develop a kind of self-discipline that spreads to other areas of life. For example, when saving money for a dream, dedicating yourself to studying, or sticking to an exercise routine, the feeling of victory becomes much sweeter when the result arrives. Additionally, practicing delayed gratification fuels your reflection and clarity of purpose. When you know you can hope for the best, you learn to value the process more than the immediate result. And this creates a solid foundation for resilience, because you're not easily shaken by fleeting frustrations. Want a challenge? Try postponing a small pleasure this week and watch your self-control grow. Ignore the critics and naysayers. You know that annoying little voice that puts you down? Or those people who always have a "but" for everything you try? Ignoring critics is an essential art to staying focused on your purpose and on your journey. Other people's opinions are outside your control and, therefore, it is not worth wasting energy trying to please someone who does not vibrate at the same frequency as you. Staying true to your values and goals helps strengthen your self-sufficiency emotional. Instead of letting yourself be shaken, you learn to filter out what's constructive and discard the rest, like a filter that lets through only what's nourishing. This brings immense freedom to act courageously, unburdened by external expectations. After all, no one knows what's best for your life as well as you do. Furthermore, this posture creates an internal environment of resiliency and consistency. Don't get lost in the storms of criticism, but keep the helm steady, sailing toward what matters. A practical tip: whenever you hear criticism, ask yourself, does this help me grow? If the answer is no, let it go and move on. The most important voice to listen to is your own. Emulate wise people. Learning from those who have already walked the path you want to follow is a powerful shortcut to personal growth. Wise people who cultivate virtues such as courage, justice, wisdom, and temperance are living examples of the practical application of Stoic principles. Following them is more than just admiration. It's incorporating habits and attitudes that strengthen your own journey. You don't have to look far. Read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, or explore the teachings of Epictetus and Seneca. These texts are like conversations with mentors who help shape the self-discipline and reflection necessary to face daily challenges. It's also worth seeking out living mentors, someone you respect and who inspires independence and resilience in practice. By mirroring these people, you're not copying, but adapting what works for your context. This practice creates a virtuous cycle. The more you're inspired, the more consistent your behavior becomes, and the easier it is to maintain control emotional and the self-sufficiency. After all, a truly wise person does not settle. They seek to learn and evolve every day. Do a daily review. End the day with a moment of reflection. It's one of the most powerful practices for those seeking continuous growth. Reflect on your attitudes, choices, and feelings. Where were you consistent? Where did you give in to discomfort? This honest look helps you identify patterns and adjust course, cultivating increasingly solid self-confidence. The daily review is an invitation to self-sufficiency emotional, as it teaches you to rely less on external judgment and more on your own perception. It can be something as simple as writing in a journal or setting aside 5 minutes before bed to reflect on what you did best and what you can improve tomorrow. This creates a routine of self-care and strengthening your virtues. Additionally, this habit helps maintain the control over your mind and heart, preventing small failures from turning into crises. Over time, you develop resilience and learn to value the process more than the immediate results. And that's the key to a more balanced and happy life. We've reached the end of this journey through the 10 Stoic principles, but the real challenge is just beginning. How will you apply all of this to your life? Think. Which of these teachings resonate most with you? Where are you willing to exercise more control and cultivate self-discipline? Reflect on what you already do today and what you can improve tomorrow. After all, transformation comes from constant action. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but with each small step, each conscious choice, each moment of discomfort accepted and overcome. How about starting right now? How about embracing this quest for emotional independence, resilience, and purpose? If you enjoyed this content, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tips that will help you become the best version of yourself.